What's up, guys? We're with my friend Josh here, and we're doing a Spellbook Prophecy deck profile for the Cross Souls April.
It's April.
April format. Cool. So yeah, we're just gonna go straight into it.
Alright, no worries. 3 blue boys, magicians. This is like the heart and soul of the deck. You have to play 3 of this. When your normal summon searches a spellbook to your hand. Very simple. This is the Justice build, so you play 3 Justice. This card's actually the best if you want to open with this or even play this, because it's a +1. The only problem is it removes itself, so that's fine. Let's go with the 3 Justice, the 3 the Priestess. So your beat stick monster. This card's really good actually, because the summoning condition is like absolutely laughable, because all you really have to do is reveal 3 spellbooks in your hand and then summon it, and it can pop a card by removing a book. So you can just like spam tons of these once. Yeah. That's like the only monsters you play, except for the 3 Max C. You don't need any other monsters in the deck because the deck's like super consistent. Your blue boy is actually searchable, but you want to play these. These are kind of like a pseudo upstart goblin, because it's like not a lot of decks like will spam boards, but if you can get at least a 1-for-1 for this, it gets you like one or 2 cards deeper into your deck, which is good because you need like as much advantage as possible. Like that's pretty much the idea of this deck, is just to gain advantage and then win through pure advantage. Yeah, the spells are like really simple. It's 3 Spellbook Crescent. This card's like the only complicated one. What it does is it reveals 3 spellbooks from my deck, puts them face down, and then the opponent picks one at random, and it gets added to my hand. So it's really cool with this as well, because they don't know what's added to your hand, they can't mind crush you. But what is it? You can only play it if you haven't activated any other spellbook spells this turn, and if you have no spellbook spells in your grave. So the condition on that's kind of annoying, but you can work around it. 3 spellbook secrets. This is a spell you always want to see, because the way this deck works, it has to function with a spellcaster type monster on the board. It doesn't work without it. So having this card is really good, because this card can actually search the magician, because this magician's a spellbook card, and then this adds you another one, and then you just keep searching your deck. So yeah, you need to have these at all points of the game. You always want to open with one of these or a way to get to this. Only 2 Spellbook of the Masters, because you can dead draw this, because you have to activate it while you control a spellcaster type monster. But what it does is you reveal one in your hand, and then you can copy a normal spell in your grave. So it's a double search with secrets, double search with present, and you can double up on like power and eternity and stuff like that. 2 Towers. This card is like hands down the best card.
Yeah.
Because it floats, like if your opponent destroys it, except if they force it to miss time, and you can summon a spellcaster type monster from your deck. But this card will actually plus what you won every turn, because during your standby phase you can put a spellbook spell card from your graveyard back to the bottom of the deck, and then draw another card. So like this card pluses you 1 every turn, and this is like you just out advantage your opponent, and it's amazing. Like having just fresh cards to keep playing, it's really nice. 2 Wisdom. This is a Forbidden Lance. You can just chain this to for a spellcaster type monster. Like this is really good because you can search this. If you ever need it, you can search it. So like 2 is a good number. You wouldn't want to play 3 because you can just keep drawing them. Like you don't want to see this if you don't have spellcaster type monsters. So yeah. 1 Eternity. You could probably play 2 of this, but I don't want to dead draw it. But it adds a removed one back. You have to play this card because this card allows you to recycle your cards without this. As soon as like you can't remove this. Fate. This is probably the best card, like one of the best cards in the game. The way it works is you can, as long as I control a spellcaster monster, I can remove 1 book. If I remove 1, I can return a set card back to the hand. If I remove 2, I can book a moon monster, and if I remove 3, I can banish any card on the board. So the thing is, the effect doesn't target, so you can play it, and even if your opponent has a response, you can still banish a card. And like people will always try and play around this, and it's brilliant. The only thing with this is, as long as you don't banish this, you're all good, because you'll keep banishing cards, and this adds your banish cards back. So as long as you don't banish this, you can keep playing. 1 power. You can probably play 2 of this as well, but like I said, I don't want to dead draw it. What it does is targets a spellcaster type monster, gives it 1,000 attack, and then if it attacks a monster and destroys it, you can search a book from your deck. So it's very handy in just getting over stuff. And it's ulti, which is like $40 or something. Yeah. The only other spell we play is Life. This is my Monster Reborn. I remove a spellcaster, reveal a spellbook in my hand, and summon a spellcaster from my grave. So it's a searchable Monster Reborn, which is really nice to have. And you don't need to play more than one, because if you need this again, you can recycle it. But yeah, I only play Spellbook spells. I don't play like Pot of Duality or anything like that, because that way nothing conflicts with Presence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's another reason I play the 3 Max Cs, because like I don't have to play upstarts because I can play Max C. Traps, 3 Reckless Greed. No deck can play Reckless Greed as good as this card, this deck can. Because basically, whenever you see this card, instead of Reckless Greed being a -1, like it is if you play it on its own, in this deck it's a +1, because you have this card on board, so you can just Reckless Greed, and then during you don't draw for your draw phase, but during your standby phase, you can draw anyway, because you have this. So this card negs you nothing. This card will actually plus you a card. So the way it works, like the combo that you usually use turn 1, you'll end up with about 1 card in hand. So if you can play this, and also you draw 2 cards, and then you play this during your main phase, and you end up with a fresh hand of 5 cards. So no deck can play this card as good as this deck can. 3 Fiendish Chain. We don't play Veiler in the main deck, so you want Fiendish Chains because and it stops the effects. Not to mention the fact that your monster can't attack when you play Fiendish Chain, and that's kind of relevant with this deck because the monster that you're constantly going to have is this, and it's only got 500 attack points, so it's very easy to just get attacked over. So you need your opponent not being able to attack, and it's quite nice to just like Fiendish Chain like Trishula against Necrons and stuff like that. 3 Mirror Force.
Oh yes.
Oh yes, the Mirror Force. This is another thing this card is especially good in this deck because if you ever have Fate, your opponent's going to know you have Fate because you would have searched it. So they're going to try and actively play around the Fate, and in order to do that, they have to overextend. And if they overextend, they can just play straight into a Mirror Force, and then you can just win. So they try and play around this, they play into this. If they try and play around this, they play into this, and it works really well. And you know, you're recycling this every turn, so and just drawing more cards. The only other cards like Solemn Warning, Tarantula, and Emptiness. This was a compulse, but this is far more relevant because Denko is a card. If I get Denko second, I lose. If I can't play my backer cards, like I can't play Fate, I'm sitting on literally a 500 attack point monster, and I'm just gonna lose. This is really good against Necros, and this is another thing. It's another thing like Mirror Force. If they try and play around the Fate and they overextend to CT, and then you can just win. So like how the deck works is it literally just you will just sit there and you will just gain advantage with cards. Like this is a +1 card. This +1s. Yeah. This +1s. This +1s. Like they're just all +1 cards. And then in the same bout, not to mention like you have Max Cs, so you're putting a lot of pressure on your opponent by having them play around cards, and then they have to play into your cards, and then you can just win them by sheer advantage. Like, I don't think I've ever lost a duel where I'm sitting on 12 to 15 cards more than my opponent.
Yeah.
The extra deck's kind of non-relevant, although some of the cards come in clutch a lot of the time. So that's basically what you do, you run cards for that odd situation. Armored Kappa, this card's really bad. The only reason you run it is you can stop OTKs. So you just summon this if you're in a bad spot, and then they can't kill you. Kachak. The only reason I run this is because Magicians are water. Like this effect, you know what this effect does?
No.
This effect, if you overlaid with a material that is originally water, you can target an Xyz monster you control, detach, and the Xyz monster's attack points are double for the turn. So the only reason I run this is because Magicians are water. But like you're never really going to Xyz summon twice in a game. But if I do, it's there. Like if I drop double Priestess and have double Magician, I can make it. And I can make it level 7. Phoenix. This is probably like the main one that I summon, just because it OTKs. Yeah. Like if you have a blue boy every turn, which you will because you're searching them, and double Priestess, you can summon this, and that's 8,000 per game. So you can actually OTK quite easily with this, which is quite surprising. Gotcha. It's another reason for Armored Kappa, because it can stall you out for turns. And it can pump up your other cards, which is quite nice. This card, Ghost Trick Circuitous. This card's actually quite handy, because you can pretty much out any monster on the board with this. at least with this deck. Like, the way it works is you can detach a material and blow up a monster as long as it has less attack points than the combined attack points of all Ghost Trick monsters you control. So, and then that monster slot can't be used. So the way this works is you can actually just Xyz summon this, and then power it, and it gains 1000 attack. It goes to 2400. So you can blow up anything, and if you really need to, you can master it, reveal another book, copy power, and it goes to 3/4, and you can blow anything up. And then if you attack, you get to search 2 cards with these 2. And then like that monster slot can't be used as well. So this is quite cool. I've never actually used it, but I think that's kind of cool. Pure Light. I've summoned this once, and it actually won me the duel because I was under Necro Valley, and I couldn't Fate Banish or Priestess pop. So like the turn before, I was like Priestess, Master, Power over a Malefic Cyber Dragon, 4/5, and then he summoned a second one and killed it, and I couldn't get over it with Necro Valley, so I just made this, added my Priestess back, and did it again.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is alright. Shining Elf. The only reason you run this is because it's 16 and it's a spellcaster. It's literally the only reason. Its effect is really, really bad. If your opponent summons a monster, you can detach and the monster loses 500 attack points.
Pretty good, pretty good.
It's just basically a higher Spellbook Magician. That's basically all it is. It's like a 1600 spellcaster that you can use. Centuria. This card's kind of cool actually. I've never summoned this, but what is it? If this attacks a monster at the end of the damage step, you can detach and then shuffle that monster back into the deck. So this like it outs to like Dante and outs to other stuff. I've never used it, but it's there in case I need it.
Yeah, and it only has like 2000 attack.
Yeah, so it's 8 rank 2s.
Yeah.
I only play 2 rank 3s, the Mech Whips and the Zen Mains, because you're never going to summon rank 3s that often, because you only rank 3 target is Justice, and you only play 3 copies of Justice. But if I'm ever in like that bad of a spot where I'm forced to summon like double Justice, I can overlay one of these and just sit and try and accumulate cards for 2 turns. So I can start drawing cards. If I have Tower up or I have Reckless, I can just draw cards and try and be in a better spot. So these only just stall out. That's all these are there for. Like in some situations this is better, and in some situations this is better, so that's why they're both here. I have the extra deck room, so it's not a problem. Play 2 Downward Magician. This card is actually the best card, especially like last format when Snatch Steal was still around. Because like
You Snatch Steal Dante.
yeah, you Snatch Steal Dante, and then you overlay for this, and then you have like a 2/5 spellcaster. That's why it's relevant, because it's a spellcaster, and it does piercing damage. So a lot of the times when I'm playing now, I'll just like, if I have like 1 Priestess and 2 Magician, I'll just overlay my Magicians for Shining Elf, because it's the only one I don't use. And then main phase 2, I'll overlay for this, and it comes out with 27 and does piercing damage. So like, these are actually really good. The only reason I play 2 is in case I really, really need it. Like I run Big Eye as well, so I can Big Eye my opponent's monsters and then make it down it. That's like the only reason the second one's here.
Yeah.
But this card's really, really good, because I can power it as well and make it bigger and do more piercing damage. I did that to Michael. I think I did like 4/7 piercing damage over a Battle Fader. I only play 3 rank 7s, play the Hierophant. Summoned this once, and it got Trap Tricks, Trap All Nightmare. I've never summoned this other than that. But the only reason I summoned it is to push for a life play, because I can life back my Priestess that I detach. But what this does is it destroys back row up to the number of spellbooks you have in graveyard. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Big Eye. This card is a spellcaster. So you can summon this, activate effect, and as long as I don't have a Veiler, it'll resolve. Because even if they have a trap, you can just Wisdom it, and it's unaffected. So you can just steal cards, and it's really nice. And Master of Blades. Bloody Travis scratched out all the colours on this.
Looks pretty cool.
The only reason I run this basically is for Burning Abyss, because it's kind of hard for them to get over 2/7 without targeting. Shut up, Ryan. I know you got around it, one of us here. But yeah, so if they target it, I detach, I negate the targeting effect, and then I blow up a card and I draw a card, isn't it? Something like that. I don't know.
Cool. Is that it for the deck profile? Do you have anything else to say about it?
No, it's quite a technical deck. It's like you gotta like decide what you want to do a lot, but yeah, it's just fun to play, because I can just have so much more cards than my opponent. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Pro Custard signing out.